Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
All new tonight, as San Antonio continues to grapple with drought conditions, KSAT investigates found area businesses sometimes using tens of millions of gallons of water per month.
That's right. Now here's the night team's Dylan Collier on the sky-high usage and also whether the local water utility is concerned about it.
Over a 12-month period from June last year to this June, HEB's Rittiman Road campus used more than 265 million gallons of potable water, the type of H2O that is safe to drink, cook, and bathe with, making the Northeast Side manufacturing complex the city's largest commercial water user. Officials for the grocery giant point out that there are 8 separate facilities there and that food manufacturing uses large amounts of water. The company says it's worked hard to introduce innovative technologies and efficient processes to cut down on its use of potable H2O. Karen Guz, conservation director for the San Antonio water system, agrees.
And although they use a lot of water in food production, they, at that particular location, have done several projects with us over the years.
Guz says the top water users are not water wasters. Tower Semiconductor, a Far West Side computer technology plant, uses a reverse osmosis process to reduce its water consumption. Its need for very pure water for production of components pushed its June to June usage over 214 million gallons, placing it second on the list. 2 theme parks, Six Flags Fiesta Texas and SeaWorld, ranked third and fourth, each consuming over 200 million gallons, and each instituting conservation efforts, like landscapes featuring native and drought-tolerant plants, and a closed recirculation system for water features. SeaWorld has gone as far as to turn off some of its fountains and uses low-flow water fixtures.
Big does not necessarily mean inefficient.
Rounding out the top 5, Methodist Healthcare at more than 192 million gallons. A spokeswoman says water is essential to safety and cleanliness for its patients, and that a spike in the number of patients in its care causes its water usage to go up. For KSAT Investigates, I'm Dylan Collier.
SAWS officials say the utility works with its customers to achieve about 1 billion gallons of savings each year. New tonight, a shooting at the medical center. Police say it happened on the 3rd floor of an apartment complex on Oak Manor Drive. Officers found a victim in his 20s laying in a hallway there. He was taken to the hospital in critical condition. Police say a man was detained at that property. Investigators also speaking with the victim's girlfriend. A long gun and handgun were also found at the scene, but it's unclear right now which weapon was used in that shooting.
2 brothers covered in blood, one of them looking for help. That's how witnesses described the shooting victims early Sunday morning. Both brothers wound up on a short dead-end street called Latigo Drive. That's near 410 and Marbach on the city's west side. Police say they responded to a shooting call on Penn Road when they were redirected to that dead-end street. And that's where officers found a gray Mazda right in the middle of the street. And inside, the driver had a gunshot to the head. That man's younger 17-year-old brother was hit in the forearm. A neighbor says the teen was just looking for help.
He was wearing a white shirt, so he was covered in blood front and back fully. His whole shirt was just covered in blood. He was screaming like that, my brother was shot. That's the first time I ever seen anything like this here in my area. It sucks. Something like that happens and you have to see that with your own eyes.
Police say the man who was shot in the head died on the way to the hospital. Investigators have not yet revealed his name to us, but they say he was 21 years old. Officers are trying to figure out what led up to that shooting.
The Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office is an important part in death investigations. And right now, it has about 20 cases where the remains are unidentified. KSAT Explains got an in-depth look into how that office works. Now, that office works on all types of cases that involve an unnatural death, and that could include car crashes or people who don't have a doctor or any significant medical history. Now, homicides are also part of the work they do. You can look inside by watching today's KSAT Explained story. Just visit ksat.com and click on this article.
We are learning more about the $16 million raised for the victims of the Robb Elementary School shooting. Tomorrow, those impacted can begin applying for the Uvalde Together We Rise Fund. Many won't see that money, though, until November, nearly 6 months after the shooting. The Night Team's Lee Waldman explains how this process is becoming even more complicated.
The money came rolling in quickly from all over the world.
Can't bring any of these 19 children and 2 teachers back.
Donations to help the community of Uvalde.
Hopefully, it will have some positive outcome in the end.
Mickey Gertis is born and raised in Uvalde. He's the chair of the 10-person local steering committee that decided on who's eligible for the $16 million Uvalde Together We Rise fund and how much they'll get.
It's been action-packed and challenging.
The steering committee is being guided by the National Compassion Fund, an organization with 8 years and 22 mass casualty event experience.
They can trust the money is going to get to the people who were directly impacted.
After 2 community meetings and private family meetings, the NCF and the steering committee published this final protocol, which lays out how the money will be dispersed based on 5 categories. A, legal heirs of the 21 victims. B, those who were physically hurt. C, people in the West Wing of the school who are experiencing psychological trauma. D, those who were shot at on the playground and outside of the funeral home. E, people present elsewhere at Robb Elementary when the shooting started.
Everybody's got like 3 questions to ask.
What are you going to do with the money? Who's going to get the money? Where do you want the money put? With young kids at Robb eligible for money, that last one is important.
If it is a minor, then the money's going to need to go into a custodial account or a trust. The family gets to decide where you want to put it.
For families on government assistance that are affected, there are other considerations that need to be made.
There are a significant number of people who receive certain levels of public assistance that are income-based. We want to make sure that we don't give someone money and then they lose eligibility.
The applications are available in both English and Spanish, and documents will need to be provided to prove eligibility.
The application process is open until October 6th, and each of the applications will be reviewed by the local steering committee. The fund's distribution plan will be finalized November 7th, and then 1 week later, the money will start getting into the hands of the people who need it. Once all of the money is dispersed, an independent auditing firm will make sure 100% of the funds were distributed correctly. In downtown, Lee Waldman, KSAT 12 News.
And our coverage on Uvalde continues online. More than 3 months after the shooting, DPS Director Steve McCraw says he wishes the state troopers seized control of that operation. That's what he told USA Today. You can read more on his response right now over at KSAT.com. Just click on this article.
In other news now, one school district is really taking security to another level. It is hiring a former Secret Service agent. Special Agent Paul Duran is going to now take the lead on safety and security protocols for the Northeast ISD. So what that means is he's going to go around every day to look at procedures that are in place. He's also in charge of mandatory drills and making recommendations to campus administration. He's going to work closely with the district's risk management office and its police department.
You know, my job as law enforcement is to handle an active shooter, and I'll just say active shooter, where his job is going to prevent that active shooter.
Now, Duran was not available for an interview with us today, but we do want to let you know that he is scheduled to begin his job on October 3rd.
Now for a look at the day's top headlines in your Nightbeat news flash. More small towns are seeing fentanyl creep into their communities. In Floresville, police say they have responded to 5 cases so far this year, 3 of those ending in death. Police say they are finding fentanyl in other drugs sold on the street, and the buyer may not even know it until it's too late. We've seen similar problems pop up over in Hayes County. A reminder, tomorrow pharmacies at University Health will be distributing the new COVID-19 booster shots. The updated boosters are meant to help target the newer strains of the virus. Metro Health is also offering the updated booster at its pop-up vaccination sites. Metro Health also offering an H-E-B gift card at those pop-up clinics while supplies last. That offer only available at those special Metro Health clinics. Metro Health has those locations listed on their website. The FDA finalized a deal to help people with hearing loss. Hearing aids will be available over the counter soon. It's a big deal because the cost of the medical devices can run as high as $6,000 per pair. The FDA decision could bring that cost down to as low as $250. Those 18 years and older would be able to buy a pair if they have mild to moderate hearing loss. The new change begins in October. That's a look at your Nightbeat News Flash.
Now, earlier this morning, we were under 70 degrees for the first time since June 29th with a low temperature of 69. We had a bit of a break from the humidity today, but it's going to be rolling back into town. We know that can't last forever this time of year. We had highs in the 90s, 93 at the airport here in San Antonio. I'm going to answer a question that a lot of viewers have had lately in terms of some bright lights moving across the sky tonight. We'll talk about that along with our rain chances this week and, of course, the return of the humidity and what that means for rain chances in just a bit.
All right, Adam, we'll look forward to that. Still ahead, getting more teachers into the classroom is a constant battle. But what if there was a way to hire a teacher without their certification? How it's happening right here in San Antonio.
And an ex-constable convicted and back in court. The new allegations that are popping up against Michelle Barrientos Vela as she waits to learn her fate. It's next on the Nightbeat. She was trusted to help uphold the law, and instead, this ex-constable was convicted of breaking it. And now Michelle Barrientos Vela is waiting to learn her fate. A jury convicted her for altering security records from Rodriguez Park. Well, now a judge is going to decide her punishment, but before that happens, witnesses are testifying. And today it was former Bexar County Precinct 2 Lieutenant Jeremy Miner, and he alleged that deputies were told to slow down the booking process of Leonicio Moreno until the media could capture footage of his arrest. The incident came weeks after Moreno filed to run against the now former constable.
It was something that we were instructed to do, and so we followed the instructions provided.
And who instructed you to do that?
The constable.
Miner is the first of at least 11 witnesses that the state is planning to call. Barrientos Vela faces anywhere from 2 years probation to 10 years in prison.
School is back in session, but teachers are still needed. Along with finding new talent, school districts are trying to just keep the teachers they already have.
The Night Team's Patty Santos tells us how some districts are getting by.
In May, SAISD teacher Luke Amphlett was straddling his return to the classroom.
Ever-increasing workload, the frozen pay.
This year, he's back. Amphlett says a 3% raise didn't hurt. There's also a promise that their workload outside the classroom might decrease.
The ISD, I would say right now, we're feeling a little bit more like we're being listened to and respected.
There are still concerns that teachers are leaving classrooms at an alarming rate.
But what we're seeing at the moment really is widespread teacher shortages across all geographic areas and all subject areas.
Monty Exter with the Association of Texas Professional Educators lobbies in Austin for educators now and those in the future.
We need to dramatically increase the support and the rigor in the pipeline so that we can produce more high-quality educators.
To get by, some districts have turned to teaching waivers. It allows qualified applicants without a teaching certificate to fill vacancies. The waivers, also known as an emergency teaching certificate, requires a bachelor's degree or relevant work experience. The certification is valid for 3 years. Then a permanent teaching certification is required. This is a look at how many teaching permits some area districts started this school year with. It's a temporary solution, but without those permits, SAISD would be facing a bigger shortage.
Main shortage area in those 60 vacancies are bilingual and special education, which are a critical shortage area for the country.
Patty Santos, KSAT 12 News.
All right, now we're going to take a live look outside. This is the I-10 and 410 interchange. Lovely night sky right there, 81 degrees. I'm looking at the sky, though. Some people were looking up, and they noticed something in the sky, and they wanted to talk to you about that, Adam. They had some questions.
Yeah, and when we see this, quite often we field a lot of phone calls and emails and whatnot, and viewers want to know, and they deserve the information here. It is something that's newer to us, so let's get right to it. Take a look at this photo. Look at the very top of your screen. The string of lights that follow each other, kind of like a train in the night sky. We've seen this before, but it is newer just over the past couple of years. And those are the Starlink satellites from SpaceX. And what SpaceX is planning on doing is launching upwards of 20 to maybe even 30,000 of these in the years ahead to provide internet to all corners of the earth at all times. So eventually these will be filling, or depending on your viewpoint, littering the night sky, as they do interfere with, some professional astronomical observations, especially as they're going to be filling in the night sky even more. So that's what we saw, the satellites rolling through the sky, and they'll become more common as the months and especially years go on. Anyway, rain chances going forward, 10% chance tomorrow. We're up to 20% chance Thursday and Friday. We've put a good dent in our drought, thankfully, but we could use more rainfall, especially when you look at the area reservoir levels. Of course, we have a lot listed here. I don't have time to go through every single one of these. Medina stands out, as usual, big fluctuations with Medina, but that's 8% full, 76 feet below the conservation pool. You go to Canyon Lake, 87% full, and that's 6.5 feet below the conservation pool. So the rain today, all off to the west. Monsoon season, West Texas, and especially New Mexico, Arizona, parts of California, Nevada. And it's been putting a big dent in their drought as well, but that's where the moisture was again today. We will have a little shift in our weather pattern later this week, but I don't anticipate a whole lot in terms of really generating rain. Here's our futurecast for tomorrow. A lot of sunshine, then just the fair weather clouds by the afternoon. This is the noon hour, and then we get into the afternoon about 3-4 o'clock. And just a few little highly isolated or stray downpours could develop. Pretty brief, and again, very localized and isolated out there. 82 right now. Hey, dew point of 62. We had the lower humidity, and dew points even made it into the upper 50s for a time today, but the humidity is rebounding. Dew points are on the rise. Tomorrow morning, dew points right around 70 degrees, and then we'll see that fluctuation downward a little bit in the afternoon, but not a big reprieve from the humidity. So we had this brief little break, and of course the humidity is bound to return pretty quickly, even this time of year. 79 now in Pleasanton, Kennedy, Carriesville Springs 77, 82 at the airport in town, Converse 77, and Bulverde at 80 degrees. Tomorrow morning, not as cool as what we had. Now earlier today, this morning at sunrise, we had near 60 degrees in the hill country, mid 60s in the hill country tomorrow morning, near 70 elsewhere. And then by the afternoon, we make it into the mid 90s. Even by 1 o'clock, we're 91 degrees. 4 or 5 o'clock, we're at 95. And in general, I think we'll be in the low to mid 90s. Bernie 91, 95 downtown, Elmendorf 96, and Lavernia 96. And then pretty much mid 90s through the 7-day forecast with just a few of those slight chances of rain.
Adam, thank you.
All right, Greg, 24 hours ago, we were learning about Dak Prescott's thumb injury. Tonight, he's recovering from surgery.
That's right. They had their surgery today, said it went well. To heal from the surgery takes 2 weeks, and then the rehab actually begins. When we come back, now that Dak's surgery is done, when could we possibly expect him back? And who is the Horn starting quarterback after the top two injured? Coming up.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
Dak Prescott's surgery was completed late this afternoon to repair a thumb fracture on the lower part of his right hand, which is the throwing hand for the Cowboys quarterback, but no timetable has been given for his return, although similar injuries have taken 6 to 8 weeks to return to play. The injury occurred in the fourth quarter of the Dallas season opening debacle against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, in which Prescott had the worst performance of all quarterbacks on Sunday with just 14 of 29 for 134 yards and an interception, often throwing behind his intended receivers. Then came the injury when Shaq Barrett, going for the pass block, actually hit Prescott in his throwing hand, bending his thumb and fingers backwards. Prescott would lead the game, not return, then appeared at a press conference afterwards where our photographer Billy Caldera caught Dak already in a soft cast before today's surgery.
Thought I jammed it. I mean, I've hit my hand on helmets or bodies a lot in my career, and never really had anything, maybe a jammed finger here, and I actually thought that's what it was. Just the next play, realized I couldn't grip the ball, let the sideline know. And then when I got off, I told the trainers the same thing. I was just like, I can't grip. I feel like if you yank it, I'll be okay. And no, we came in, got x-rays, and things are different.
All right, but what do Dak's teammates think of his latest setback after missing 11 games in 2020 after dislocating his right ankle, only to return with the NFL's most potent offense in 2021 that looked absolutely anemic last night before the injury?
Unfortunately, it's something we're kind of familiar with, losing him, unfortunately, but I mean, luckily, I mean, it's not the entire season. I mean, you know, there's light right at the end of the tunnel. I mean, at some point, this is the NFL, dude. Like, guys go down, next guy up. I mean, that's just how it is.
All right, now it's Cooper Rush to rescue again at the Cowboys. Don't bring in another free agent or trade for a starter. UTSA Roadrunners have to face a much improved Texas Longhorns team this Saturday after the Burnt Orange nearly pulled off the upset of the year in college football by almost beating Alabama in Austin. The 20-19 close call cost Bama its #1 ranking today, moved Texas into the number 25, I should say top 25 at number 21. This follows the Roadrunners' incredible 41-38 overtime victory against Army on the road. As a result, quarterback Frank Harris is a Conference USA Offensive Player of the Week for the second consecutive week. Harris threw for 359 yards, just 8 yards shy of a school record, including the game-winning touchdown in overtime when he found DeClorian Clark, making Harris a national leader in total offense at 394.5 yards per game. They will need all of that and then some when they face the Longhorns this Saturday night for the first time in school history.
We've got to go in there and do what we do to the best of our abilities and let the chips fly. I know people can't stand it. We don't talk about winning and losing very much here. We just want to do our absolute best. We think we've got enough talent on our roster, and we can coach good enough that we'll win more than we lose if we'll just be true to the brand.
All right, kickoff at us on Saturday night, set for 7 p.m. and KSAT 12 Sports will be there. One of the big questions going into the superhuman effort against the Crimson Tide last Saturday is, could UT emerge from that game healthy? And the answer is no. It didn't take long for Bama to take out the Horn-starting quarterback Quinn Ewers when he was driven into the ground, causing an SC sprain in his left shoulder that could keep Ewers sidelined 6 weeks. His backup, Hudson Card, didn't get away unscathed, coming up limping after injuring his ankle. Now the big question is, who would start at quarterback Saturday night against UTSA? Right now, the only healthy on the depth chart is Charles Wright, a redshirt freshman who has only played one game and is out of Austin High. But the two quarterbacks are not the only players on the injury report, including star running back Bijan Robinson with a shoulder injury and cornerback Deshaun Jameson.
I'm going to tell you now, they're day-to-day, guys. It's day-to-day. I really don't know. We're going to have to monitor them every morning to see where they're at. The beauty of it for all four of these guys, it's nothing structural. It's not surgery-driven. It's not broken. It's not ligament damage. So the point being, we just got to monitor them day-to-day, and we'll see who we can get back and when we can get them back.
All right, when asked who ran the first team at quarterback today, Sox response, that's for me to know. The big game and a big game coverage coming up next. The big game and our big game coverage this Friday night features two teams in 12's Top 12. Number 5, New Braunfels Canyon, hosting number 8 champion Chargers out of Boerne. The Cougars are coming off a huge win over rival New Braunfels last Friday night, 35-32, to go 3-0 to start their season. Likewise, the Chargers are also coming off a 44-36 victory against Canyon Lake to improve to 2-1. Now these two schools meet to kick off district play in 12-5A Division I.
We're going to prepare hard like we would for every team. Boerne's a good team. We're going to play fast, play hard, play smart. We're going to do good.
This is a big game, first district game. If we can pull this one off, we'll probably feel like nobody else can beat us, especially after working hard, putting in the work, watching film, doing our homework.
All right, kickoff between the Chargers and the Cougars is set for 7 p.m. Friday night in New Braunfels. And guess what? We will be there starting live at 5 on Friday.
Oh, we'll look forward to it. Thank you, Greg.
We are too.
Busy season. You are everywhere.
This is 7 days a week right now.
We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Tomorrow, low to mid-90s. I think mid-90s around San Antonio, some lower 90s in parts of the hill country. You get to Sabinal 94 along with Nixon, Bulverde 91 and Comfort 92. Around town about 95. 10% chance of an afternoon shower, so very stray, generally dry. And then 20% chance of a few isolated pop-ups by Thursday and Friday afternoon.
All right. Thank you for that, Adam. And thank you so much for joining us. That does it for the Night Beat. Don't forget that Good Morning San Antonio starts at 4:30.
Have a good night.